the title of this workshop, Cashing Your Passion, Self-Employment. Last month I was blessed to be able to go to a Google headquarters, Facebook headquarters, and also Intuit headquarters as well. And they shared, Intuit did a study, and they said by 2020, 40% of Americans will be considered self-employed. So 4 out of 10 people in America will be self-employed. So very timely for this type of workshop. So something I want to do with you all, to share something about the organization, is kind of take you through general business planning that you want to do as you start up your business. Because a lot of times you can talk to entrepreneurs or soon-to-be entrepreneurs, and it's all in their head right now. But there's certain questions that you need to ask yourself and answer them and put them down on paper. So that's kind of what we'll go through quickly on this morning. First thing about the organization, Small Business Development Centers, we are the Small Business Administration's largest funded program. So there's over 1,000 small business development centers across the country, including 15 in the state of Tennessee, and we're all housed at colleges in Tennessee. And first what we do, we help entrepreneurs realize the dream of business ownership, and then we help those existing companies remain competitive in this ever-changing global economy. And we do this through assisting through one-on-one business counseling. So we assist on some of the topics that we'll be sharing today. Market research, of course you need to know the size of your market and the competition in the market, business plan assistance, lending assistance, of course, financing is very important for any startup business on the debt side or the equity side. Exporting, 95% of the world's population lives outside the United States of America. And so many of the products, for example, that we take for granted here in the United States, there's many developing countries that need those products. Like we have a client now who manufactures detergents here in the area, but he's beginning to export his product to Panama because they are in major need of detergents. But here in the United States, we can go to any retail store, even gas stations, and pick up detergent. But there's a product that's in need in actually developing countries. Contracting aid. The U.S. government is the largest buyer in the world. The government spends the most money in the world. So as you think about your business planning, you may want to think about what products and services that I offer to sell to the United States government. And how many people pay taxes in here? Taxes come out of the paycheck. Well, that's one of the great things as well, being funded by the Small Business Administration. It's no cost appliance for a lot of the services and workshops that we provide as well. My office is located at Southwest Maxine Smith Center, 8800 East Shelby Drive. So kind of in between the Mike Rose Soccer Complex and South End High School on that stretch of East Shelby Drive. And also we have a satellite office at the City of Memphis Renaissance Business Center. Critical need for planning. You probably know the stats out there that most small businesses fail, and there's just not a key answer to why, but subject matter experts will agree that the key to success will be planning. So that's what we're going to talk about briefly here. First thing is you want to establish a clear business definition. Many times you speak to someone and ask them to tell you about their business, and it takes 3, 4, 5 minutes, and they're not really clear themselves about what is our business. So you want to answer the question, what is our business? What is it that we do? Whether it's providing landscaping services, whether it's providing seasoning, or whether it's providing personal training. Just being able to be clear and concise about what is our business. Next up is who is being satisfied. Many times you can talk to an entrepreneur and say, everyone is my customer. But you want to define who is being satisfied. I mean, are you going to be a retail business? Are you going after individual consumers? Are you going to be B2B? So you're going to be a business that sells your services to other businesses out there. Or are you strictly going to look at the government as someone that you're going to satisfy and sell your services? So answering that question. And then what is being satisfied? Is it a need? Do people need your product? Is it something they want? Or is it a utility, something that's needed at a given point in time? And then very important, you need to answer this question: how are customers being satisfied? And it doesn't matter if you're starting up today or you're a Fortune 500 company like FedEx. There's 3 ways that you can compete in any industry. And it's price, quality, and service. And you need to find where you're going to compete. Listen, you mentioned FedEx. FedEx, do they compete on price? Do they advertise? How many people ship things FedEx? It wasn't cheap, right? No, they're not out there saying, hey, we have the cheapest prices out there. You're really paying for the quality and the service. If it has to get to China in 48 hours, you're going to pay the premium price, but it's absolutely going to get there. Think about the United States Postal Service. You know, most of their advertising now is about if it fits into this size box, it's going to ship at this low rate. So that's kind of how they're deciding how they're going to compete. Think about your car companies. BMW, Mercedes-Benz, they're not focused on having the lowest car prices in the market. So think about with your business, are you going to compete on price, quality, and service going forward? And then the life cycle analysis, I guess many will be probably in the startup stage. So one thing that you have, no one really knows you in the marketplace. So what you have to do now is build a customer base and hopefully make them repeat customers in the market. So you could have been a beautician for 20 years working in someone's shop. So now you decide to start your own beauty salon. Now you have a new location. You have those existing customers, but how does someone find you and how do you grow in that market? Next will be the growth stage. Now revenues and opportunities are increasing, and you also now have to hire new employees to deal with this influx of business. And this is actually where a lot of small businesses go out of business. Why? Because, well, actually someone's going to be doing it. We'll tell you all about it, but we're teaming with a company in LA, and they just established a program called Chief Everything Officer. So as opposed to CEO, Chief Executive Officer, you're the Chief Everything Officer. And what happens now, when you're in the growth stage, you have to make that transition from entrepreneur to CEO. And you've established this business, you made the seasonings, you made all this secret sauce and everything that you're offering. Now you need to grow. Now you have to depend on other people and trust them to handle your customers, produce a product. And a lot of times entrepreneurs are not able to do that. So as opposed to focusing on the strategic plan and growing the business, going out of town, connecting with new customers, they're still salad will working in the business. So a lot of companies go out of that phase and as well, either you get a contract and now you get a major contract, let's say a roofing contract to do the international paper facility. And now you don't get paid 90 or 120 days out. Your employees, how many of you all will wait 90 or 120 days to work and not get paid? Most of us probably leave their job sites. So their growth stage and then maturity. Sales growth isn't explosive but manageable, and business life has become more routine. And then the decline stage, sales and profits have dropped. A new strategy must be put in place. So think about, I guess the greatest example would be Apple. They had major challenges, but they put a new strategy in place with Steve Jobs, and now you can see that they are one of the largest, I think, 206 billion in cash right now. So they have more cash, I believe, than the U.S. government. But identifying where you are on this life cycle, and then basically putting in the appropriate strategy that you need. In market research, it's very important for anyone getting into a business as you think about your business plans and the size of the market. Is the market growing? Because if a market is not growing, the only way for you to take market share is to take it from someone else. High or low barriers to entry. You have to know, think about it. How many of us could possibly start a janitorial company tomorrow? Basically, we can go door to door and essentially have some cleaning products from home or buy some from Walmart or what have you, and we can start a cleaning company. But how many of us can get into auto manufacturing? So you have to determine, am I getting into something where it's going to be a high barrier or low barrier to entry? And obviously, where there's low barriers to entry, you're going to have more and more competition. And when there's more competition, what happens to the price? It drives it down. It drives it down. So be aware of, as you're planning your business, are you going to get into a low barrier to entry or more higher barrier to entry? And usually when it's a higher barrier to entry, there's more capital that you're going to need for that. How many competitors are there? You want to know, if I'm getting into a local market and starting this business, are there 10 competitors or are there 300 or 400 competitors out there? Can the business be scaled? Some businesses may just be local businesses at a certain amount of time. Go ahead.
Rory, can you share with them that at your office, they can find out this information as well? Right.
And I'll share with you all some of the tools at the end as well, but we have some great databases that we pay tens of thousands of dollars for. And we actually just had the SBA Emerging Leaders Program. These are companies that have at least $400,000 in revenue and at least 5 or more employees. But we have a great tool called Reference USA that all of them utilize for their sales and marketing and also to find out about the competition in the market. But we're able to look up one of the companies that graduated does janitorial supplies and office supplies. And emailed me. They wanted to find out all the assisted living and nursing homes in 7 different zip codes in Shelby County. And you got that information. It was 52 in those 7 areas to show the revenue of those nursing homes, to show the number of employees. It actually gave them an estimate on, based upon their taxes, of how much they spend on office supplies. So they're going to use this list to go market and try to sell some of their office supplies and office furniture and janitorial supplies to these assisted living firms. So we're able to provide that for you at no cost.
At no cost.
Yeah, no cost. Remember, once you're paying taxes come out of your paycheck, you're supporting the organization, the free resources that's developed. And the mergers and acquisitions are they frequent, and also international growth opportunities. And then SWOT analysis, this is something, again, startup companies, Fortune 500 companies should do. And this is basically analysis where you look at your strengths. These are internal. These are things that you possess internally that lead to a competitive advantage for you. So whether you have great relationships in the Memphis market, that could be a major strength for you. Maybe you have capital already in place and investors already in place right now. That can be a major strength for you. So think about what you possess internally right now that lead to an advantage for you. And then weaknesses, these are things that you don't possess internally that can lead to a competitive disadvantage. And 98% of businesses that I go through a SWOT analysis with is capital. So, but you need to be aware of listing what your weaknesses are, and then you can put a plan in place to address how you overcome those weaknesses. Now, opportunities, these are more so external. What's happening in the marketplace that can lead you to pump growth or help your business. So, a lot of times now, healthcare is a very growing and booming industry. So, it'd be a great opportunity to start a business in healthcare. And obviously, lenders and banks and other institutions know that there's a lot of growth in healthcare. Anything that you can do in that area, they'll look at you more favorable if you're looking at a business loan pursuing an opportunity because they know that industry is growing. So think about what may be happening in the marketplace externally that can lead you to prompt growth. And then threats. These are things externally that can basically hinder your growth. And companies look at it all the time. I got a copy of actually FedEx's SWOT analysis, but the whole thing of independent contractors versus employees, that's a major threat for FedEx that they listed on their SWOT analysis. So, I believe the season that got mentioned about, I think in 2009 in the recession, but he was able to get his business loan before then, but, the recession was going on. It was going to be very difficult to get a start of small business loan, especially given the rate that 80% of small businesses fail within the first 5 years. So, doing a SWOT analysis, looking internally again, what do you possess that leads to a competitive advantage? What do you not possess that leads to a competitive disadvantage? And then looking externally. Anything, conditions out there to prompt growth, and externally as well, any threats out there that could hinder you from growing or starting your business. And then marketing, the 4 Ps, I believe personal trainer kind of touched on some of these as well earlier. Products and services, what need or want does the product satisfy? The price, what is the price point? And our seasoned gentleman spoke about that as well. Place, where do people look for the product? And promotion, how will you reach your audience? And one of the things that she mentioned as well about just going on the morning shows, emailing your story to local newspapers, the free publicity out there. So I spent yesterday in my office, this gentleman from Africa who had a great job as an engineer, but wanted to begin working and importing some of the products from Rwanda that the African women did, great baskets and other tools, but they want to begin importing them and then sell them into the market. So he brought all the products with me, and I said, it's a great story, and he's, there are a lot of poverty over there, and I just wanted to help his country out. So I said, it's a great story, this needs to go on the news. So we went to ABC Local 24, got all the email addresses for the morning anchors, News Channel 3 for their Live at 9 show, Channel 5 show, Good Morning Memphis on Fox 13. We researched, got all their contact information. Then we looked at the Memphis Business Journal, at key reporters, Commercial Appeal, Daily News, and Memphis Flyer. And we're basically going to send out an email and do some follow-up calls to get him on those morning shows so that he can promote his product. And the website is something great that we do with Google. We have a partnership. Anyone can go to gybo.com and get a free website through Google. It's free for 1 year, and that also includes a custom domain name for you. So if you were looking to have eventflowers.com, if it's available, you get that domain free for 1 year. And also something special that we're working on, it'll be hopefully announced soon, maybe next week. As I mentioned, I got to go to Google headquarters, so I wanted them to come back to Memphis and do a great workshop. So they're going to be coming to Memphis hopefully in December, doing a major workshop. So we're planning on that announcement soon to come out. But they'll be talking about search engine optimization.
Can you repeat the name of that website?
It's gybo.com. So which stands for Get Your Business Online. gybo.com.
GYBO. Okay.
But you get you a free website, free for 1 year, and it's great. Anyone heard of Benson's Pharmacy? They just had their major ribbon cutting off the night on, but great local pharmacy startup, and but they use that to really get the word out and send people to their website. So you can definitely get that free website. And then the social media aspect, just utilizing that with no cost. I know we have Leslie come and do workshops on social media, does a tremendous job at that. So I would definitely encourage you all to come to the next time she's doing a workshop. I believe it's going to be at the Business Bureau December 1st. So. And then vision and mission statements. This is basically where you challenge yourself to think more long term, 5 to 10 years. Answering the question, what will success look like for your business? Do you want to be an international business in 5 to 10 years? Being able to answer that question. But it basically challenges you to reach a destination at some point within 5 to 10 years. So you think about the Olympics. People don't get in the Olympics by mistake. I think they have the U.S. women's boxing trials going on at the Cook Convention Center right now. But they did not get there by accident. I mean, it took years and years of training to get to that destination, but they knew that was their destination, is to get into the Olympics. So same thing for your business. What is your vision for the business in the next 5 to 10 years? And then mission basically serves as a marketing tool to motivate yourself, your employees. Basically, what are you going to abide by every day? So one of the best mission statements is Westin Hotels to me. says year after year, Western and its people will be regarded as one of the best and most sought after hotel resort management companies in the world. So that says a lot to the employees that basically we have year after year, we have to be regarded as the best. We have to provide excellent customer service at all of our hotels to continue to be regarded as the best. And then your financial statements, and I know we have a lender in the room as well, so I won't touch on everything she may speak about, but sources and uses of funds, very important if you're applying for financing. You need to define where you're obtaining the capital and how you're going to use it. So for every dollar. So it's not good to say, generally I'm going to spend $10,000 on equipment. You need to break out exactly where every dollar of the equipment is going to go to. Because you may end up meeting with a lender and they say, well, you're doing, I see your breakout. I think you can possibly get this at a lower price. Why you got to buy new equipment? Why not use equipment? So let's just reduce this by $1,000 to $1,500. So sources and uses, your balance sheet basically shows the work of the business over a given period of time. So I know we're about to wrap up now. So. But assets and liabilities, of course, equals your owner's equity there. Income statement shows your revenues, expenses, and your profits at a time, and your statement of cash flows, especially if you're applying for small business loan. You need to have a monthly cash flow statement, at least for that first year. And of course, that's something that we can help you with our center. And some other great things, we are very fortunate in the state of Tennessee. We were the first state, but now we're one of 3 states with free online training for anyone in the state of Tennessee. So you can go to tsbdctraining.org and take advantage of these free resources here. So all these different subject matters. There's PowerPoints, PDFs, and also videos. And most of the videos are done by professors that teach these subject matters at colleges in the state of Tennessee. Of course, on the IRS side, there's our IRS employees doing that workshop. And also, something that we do, Southwest, we work with the Department of Labor, we have a grant. But part of it was providing online modules for Southwest students in the grant, Mortec, TCAT, Memphis, and what used to be Mid-South Community College was Arkansas State, Mid-South now. But basically, at the end, you can test your knowledge and get a certificate. So they're using this as non-credit hours for some of their students that's enrolled. So you can do that as well too. So visit their website, take advantage of those resources there. And I think that's it. I think I maybe went a minute over. Oh, any questions? Any quick questions? Sorry.
What are the office hours?
Office hours, mine at the Maxine Smith Center are 8 to 4:30, Monday through Friday. And at the Renaissance Center, the salary hours will be 8:30 to 5, Monday through Friday. Yeah, definitely come see us. And appreciate it. Great workshop.
Thank you.